Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So let us start today's video by discussing the interesting case study of Bajaj Finance. Trust me, there are very important learnings. So what you will see is that back in 2010, Bajaj Finance used to be a small cap company with a market cap of $0.2 billion. After 13 years, it has gone on to become a multi-bagger with the overall returns being 255 times from that point, and it has become a large cap company. Now the point is that massive wealth is generated if you can pick the right type of micro players or small players, hold them for a substantial period of time, then you are able to really extrapolate your wealth. So on this video, I'm going to discuss with you some really important points. Number one, I'm going to discuss some of the key frameworks that you can use in terms of identifying these type of companies which will go on from small cap to becoming large cap players, what type of mindset you need to have, how to put a screener in terms of identifying these type of companies. And finally, I will discuss 4 or 5 key stocks, which would be good case study. Please note that I am not saying that you should be buying them, selling them, this, that. No, this is not like spoon feeding video. This is not a stock recommendation video. This is from a learning perspective. Trust me that if you watch this video till the very end, you will understand a lot of interesting points, lot of interesting insights, and this will refine you to become a better investor. आप कितने भी YouTube वीडियो सुन लो, आप कितने भी blogs पढ़ लो, आप कितने भी vlogs देख लो या whatever, the eventual goal of all these things is to become confident in terms of your investing style. Therefore, I would highly encourage you to watch this video till the very end. So press the like button and we will kickstart our analysis. So if we backtrack this entire history of Bajaj Finance and try to identify and think ourselves कि यार ऐसा क्या हुआ बजाज फाइनेंस में that it went on from being a $0.2 billion company all the way right now the market cap at its peak was 63 billion. ऐसा क्या हो गया कि यार इतने ज़्यादा रिटर्न्स बन गए? What were some of the key data points here, or what were some of the key trigger points of this entire story? While there were many key trigger points, I will boil it down to 4 key dimensions. So there are 4 central points that you need to know about Bajaj Finance story. So number one thing is that Bajaj Finance really started growing after the year 2008. That was a massive financial year and बहुत सारी finance companies went under. US में a lot of prominent banks went under, and that was a really bad time. And Bajaj Finance was able to survive that bad time. Back then, the consumer finance industry, in which Bajaj Finance is right now a market leader, that was an uncooked industry. भाई कोई करते नहीं था ऐसा कोई बहुत massive काम in the consumer finance space. Right now, a lot of acceleration is happening, and now people are saying, you know what, Bajaj Finance based this, that. See guys, I mean, from this point, it is unlikely that Bajaj Finance is going to give 250 times return anytime soon. It might still become a very consistent compounder type of a stock, no doubt about that. But if you want to figure out like stocks that are going 10x or 100x, right? This is a good framework to study, right? So let me continue on this framework. The first key important point was that Bajaj Finance was in an uncooked industry and it was able to survive that bad time. Really important critical factor. Right now, sitting in 2024, the COVID crisis is really bad stuff that has happened. The global supply chains are shrinking. The world is bouncing back from real troubles in forms of inflation and bunch of other challenges, Russia-Ukraine war, the US dollar losing its prominence. So खराब time चल रहा है बहुत सारी कंपनियों का, but these are the times in which good businesses or these multi-bagger businesses are built. So if you can figure out some companies that are following this model, they might be worth looking at. Second key point is that Bajaj Finance had a strong brand, right? Came under the Bajaj brand, Bajaj umbrella. Good folks who built the company, they had certain USP. Now what is the USP of Bajaj Finance? Well, it is their ability to penetrate customer phone and message पे message, call पे call करना. Yeah, you might not like it, but that is their USP that has allowed them to generate more business. Now, third key point is that Bajaj Finance went on to become a market leader. So if you're trying to identify the next Bajaj Finance, one of the key traits should be that it should be in an uncooked industry where it could potentially become a top 2-3 player. Okay, so this is third key point. Fourth and finally, the point that we cannot identify is the role of luck, right? Let me juxtapose this example with the story of Delta Corp. So Delta Corp, according to me, is a very solid business. ऐसा उसमें कुछ problem नहीं है. It is in a very high operating profit margin type of an industry. Lot of good things in terms of the business. For example, अगर आप मोपा एयरपोर्ट देखो, उसके आसपास Delta Corp वालों ने खरीद के लैंड हलचल मचा दी है, right? And they are going to create like a mini sin city or whatever it is. Now, unfortunately, the GST notice came. Delta Corp fell quite a lot. Does it make it a bad business? The short answer is no. That is pure luck, right? I mean, this is not something that stock analysts will be able to identify कि GST का notice किसके पास पहुंचने वाला है, right? So of course, there is an element of luck. Any industry can change in case the regulators decide कि भाई साहब इसको खत्म करनी है industry को. They can exert a very big influence on that. So on that note, I hope that you are able able to decode the Bajaj Finance story. So now let me add another key point here which will talk about the fact कि अच्छा ठीक है आपने कुछ कंपनियां पकड़ ली, right, that you are able to identify 4-5 such firms that could potentially become like Bajaj Finance type of industry. What would prevent you from holding such companies? Well, in very simple words, what would prevent you is the concept of volatility. Volatility means that आप अभी लगाओगे पैसा, probably tomorrow those stocks might get crushed by 20, 30, 40, 50% and then you will leave him and you will be gone away. So from that perspective, you will never be able to stick with a multi-bagger even if it becomes a multi-bagger, right? So how do we avoid this problem? So therefore, study this section very, very carefully. I am going to talk about 4-5 case studies here, right, very, very quickly. So आप देख सकते हो जैसे for example, Aurobindo Pharma. Now this is a company which is still there. It used to be a mid-cap company. Then by 2008, it became a small-cap company. And then it became a large-cap company somewhere in 2015. The point is that companies not only lose like 20-30% market cap, they lose the market capitalization category itself, right? Right now, just to give you an estimate, a company which is less than 5,000 crore in market cap is called as small cap in India. Between 5,000 to 20,000, it is called as mid cap, and 20,000 crore से बड़ी is called as large cap, right? So अब यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, right? For example, Ayushman Motor, mid cap से small cap again, IndusInd Bank, and then it became a large cap in 2013. So similarly, आपको बहुत सारी companies दिखेंगी, right? Which went on from large cap to small cap also, right? For example, Bajaj Hind Sugar, right? So this became from a large cap company in 2006 all the way to small cap. So the market cap is shrink ho gaya, right? So this is very, very interesting. The important aspect or important key takeaway here is very simple. That see, when you are trying to identify multi-baggers or when you are trying to identify companies that will go from small cap to large cap, also be ready with the fact that there will be massive volatility with it. So on that note, my hypothesis is that if you're looking to benefit by investing in multi-bagger type of companies, you really need to condition your investing style and temperament. That is more important कि भाई आप volatility झेल जाओ. Now one of the key strategies that I'm using is that I'm creating a multi-bagger portfolio. So what is my multi-bagger portfolio? Well, I'm using a very simple strategy and I teach all these type of strategies on my investment member community also. In case you're a serious investor, you are putting some bit of money in the stock market, highly would encourage you to consider joining it. See, these type of strategies you should know. So let me quickly explain it. I'm picking like 50 stocks in my multi-bagger portfolio. And here the idea is that out of 50 stocks, 10% will go on to become multi-baggers, which will generate 10x returns. At least 30 will give average returns जो 2x to 3x हो सकते हैं. Now because these are riskier stocks, so इसमें मेरा बन जाएंगे कितने 60 to 90 lakhs I'll make. Here I will make 50 lakhs because I'm investing 1 lakh approximately in each of these stocks. So over a period of 5 years, I will be able to 3x my portfolio. So this is my definition of multi-bagger, and here I have left room for the fact that 20 stocks that I'm going to pick are going to go to absolute zero. So please note that this is a conservative means कि यार अच्छा ये worst case scenario what I'm assuming that this is going to happen. So I teach all these strategies. I talk about industry specific analysis. I talk about stock specific analysis. You will develop confidence because आपको confidence के हिसाब से समझ में आएंगी ये सब चीजें कि अच्छा यार this is a strategy that might fit me also. So let me remodulate that strategy as per my investing style. Then you could consider building positions in that respect. लोग क्या करते हैं? They will just simply watch like YouTube video. यार 5 stocks के बारे में बात हो गई ये खरीद लेते हैं जाके बन गए पैसे तो it's fine, right? It's my मेहनत माई रिस्क. अगर नहीं बने तो आगे नेगेटिव कमेंट कर देंगे. सो इफ यू आर फ्रॉम दैट स्कूल ऑफ थॉट यू विल नेवर मेक मनी इन द स्टॉक मार्केट बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव अ सिस्टम टू मेक मनी. थ्रू माई इन्वेस्टमेंट कम्युनिटी एंड माई कोर्सेज आई हेल्प यू डेवलप दैट सिस्टम. सो डू कंसिडर ज्वाइनिंग इट. आई एम ऑल्सो रनिंग अ लाइव क्रैश कोर्स. सो इफ यू आर पुटिंग more than 5 to 10 lakh rupee capital, this crash course is going to be extremely beneficial for you. You could definitely consider checking out more details. The reviews have been excellent, and my stock market live course, this only has 200 seats, that's it, and it would be taught over 2 weekends. So very, very intense course. Completion rate is more than 95, right? I mean, these days आप course खरीदते हो and people do not even bother watching. My courses are not like that. The completion rate is close to 95%. Whoever purchases it, watches it live, are attentive, they join a community, they are able to practice whatever I am teaching. So it's a very hands-on course, right? So it has a very positive ROI. So you can definitely check out the details. So on that note, let me go into the specifics of how you can go into picking multi-bagger, so to say. सबसे पहले मैं आपको स्क्रीन बनाना बता देता हूँ. So all you need to do is simply go on Screener and try to develop a screen, and I will speak about some of the key parameters that will go into this. So okay, so the criteria that I would use is that number one, because I'm interested in picking small cap, micro cap type of companies here, Therefore, I am picking a tab which is less than 20,000 crores, right? So, uska market cap should be less because I'm looking for some of the companies that could go 5x, 10x, right? So that's the idea behind this multi-bagger portfolio. Number two, the return on capital employed should be very, very high. It should be greater than 20% because this shows that the company, whatever money they are getting, be it in debt format or equity format, they're using it very, very effectively. Third and finally, at least उस company में sales growth होनी. Sales growth indicates that the industry is good. उसमें sales होती है, right? That industry probably is growing. Therefore, company sales are growing. Number two, that individual company is able to generate decent enough sales. So 20% मान के चलते हैं that 20% is the sales growth. On a 3-year compounded basis, that's very good sales growth. Now, why haven't I picked something like profits, right, or debt, etc.? Well, see, so think about it this way, that if you're running a small company, then the cost of borrowing is high, right? For example, when Bajaj Finance started, their cost of borrowing would have been high. Why? Because it's a more riskier company. As Bajaj Finance scaled up, it became bigger and bigger, more efficient with its operations. This cost of borrowing came down, be it in debt format or equity format. So therefore, I'm not too bothered about the debt component. Yes, this is a very risky strategy. This is not something that I will advocate to moderate risk investors. This is not a stock recommendation video. I am okay taking a very significant risk with a smaller percentage of my portfolio. That is what this video is about. If you're looking for risk-free investment option or low risk investment option, this video is not for you. So I hope that this point is clear. And if you just run this query, you will see roughly 200 companies and you can start picking some of these companies from there. Now, does it mean that you go and pick all these 200 companies? No, that's not the point. This actually gives you the initial list and uske baad you can apply further filters in order to further refine your risk. So, okay, so next you need to apply few more filters. So for example, I will put 3 more filters here, and the first key filter is that, hey, has the stock been through a negative sentiment, so to say? So this is one, right? This is again very similar to the Bajaj Finance 2008 story. 2008 में इतनी negativity थी finance stocks पे, so that was a bad sentiment phase. थोड़े दिन पहले you must have seen that so much negativity on IT stocks. Great time. I bought the IT index. उसमें मैंने करोड़ों रुपए से ऊपर डाला, and I was able to make 25% very quick profits, right? Then second key point is that industry should be growth industry, right? And उसका एक filter we have already applied, which gives us history of last 3 years. But you have to do forecasting study. कि अच्छा this industry will it continue to grow or not? Third key factor is that company needs to be a market leader in a niche segment. This is very, very important. And let me tell you the story of Coinbase on this. So here you will see the Coinbase story here, that the crypto sentiments last year were extremely negative, right? And ye kafi gira stock, right? It got crushed by 70-80%, right? And after that, it has been on an upward trajectory. And in the last 1 year, it has given 360% gains. Okay. Now, many people say, yaar, ye kharab hai, wo kharab hai. See guys, I mean, I am not here to prove that which asset is good or bad. Market tells us that, if it is rewarding certain company, we have to respect the market's verdict. I cannot take position कि अच्छा ये चीज़ खराब है, वो चीज़ खराब है, all that stuff. Important lesson here is that, see, there was a lot of negative sentiment associated with Coinbase. The company bounced back. The crypto negativity story has been arrested to a very large extent. Coinbase is a potential market leader. Therefore, the market has been rewarding the stock for the last 1 year. This is the fact. We can all debate it कि यार ये चीज़ अच्छी, ये चीज़ बुरी, money laundering, this, that. It doesn't change the fact that the stock has given 360% gains. I have benefited a lot. My community has benefited a lot from that perspective. And wo hai to hai. There is nothing that we can do. Problem in stock analysis is that we just keep on looking at the past data. No, we have to do forecasting study. Forecasting is what makes you money. So I hope that this small story is clear. Now you might have a natural response. Acha, we are looking for some other company like Coinbase or which fits the portfolio here of what you just spoke about. So for me, that stock will be SMCI, which I am very bullish on. I am having it in my portfolio. And I feel that this stock is going to become a rocket going forward. Now, what is the story with SMCI and does it meet the criteria that I've been speaking about? Uske baad, I will speak about Indian stocks also. And you will see the difference between Indian stocks and American stocks. Both the places have great opportunities in terms of picking good stocks, cultivating a more diversified portfolio. So, okay, coming back to SMCI, it's very simple that SMCI is an AI-based stock. It is one of the leading contenders to become from a small mid-cap type of company in the US. वहाँ पे categorization different होती है, but it's still a reasonably sized tech player based on AI. And it can grow into either a large cap or it will get acquired. In both these circumstances, the SMCI stock is likely to become a rocket from that perspective. Again, not a stock recommendation. I'll explain you the fundamentals. So the number one point about SMCI's growth is that the globalization as a story is becoming weaker. Every country is trying to insource its critical manufacturing. So far, the US had developed for microcomputer chips on the US. That thing seems to be going away, right? SMCI has been profitable every year since its founding in 1993. This is a critical aspect. अभी तक उसमें growth इसलिए नहीं आती. There was a lot of competition from China, but America is insourcing a lot of stuff similar to how China is doing for itself, how Korea is doing it for itself, how India is doing it for itself. When it comes to slightly more advanced usage of AI, you require a lot of research money. You require a lot of political support. You require a lot of government policies that supports it. All these things are there in the US. Therefore, वो tech leaders हैं, and for a substantial future, it seems like that they are going to lead the market with companies, giant companies that can put in a lot of marketing budget, even go and acquire companies like SMCI. So from that perspective, it's at a good pivot point, so to say. Now, second key point is the fact that there was a lot of tech stock-based correction in the US that has already happened, and they have started to bounce back. And abhi in this next round of rally, it is likely that AI stocks are again going to perform, especially something like SMCI. Now, why is that? Let me just show you the price consolidation of the stock. So if you take a look at this particular rally, this was a major rally that happened, and for the last 1.5 years approximately, the stock has been consolidating in this range, right? Please note that it has not fallen. There has been massive tech correction in the US, but SMCI has not fallen. Now, if it consolidates a little bit more, I think that would be the right time of aggregating more of it. So that is my hypothesis from a price perspective. On top of this, if you study the third critical point, the earning guidance for the company has improved. It has gone on from $10 billion to $11 billion. उनके खुद के management को लग रहा है that okay, they are going to do better in the future. The company is putting a lot of money behind manufacturing. Their estimate suggests that they are going to generate roughly $20 billion in average revenue over the next couple of years itself. अब वो कैसे होगा? One can debate the argument. चलो let's assume कि यार इतना नहीं भी होता $20 billion in revenues, उसका half भी हो जाए, then also from this point the stock is likely to grow. और मैं आपको बोर नहीं करता स्टॉक के बारे में because we have to cover 2-3 more stocks very quickly. So let me move on to some Indian stocks. Now the first stock that I would like to speak about is Fine Organic. Now this is a specialty chemicals based stock. तो सबसे पहले मैं आपको fundamentals दिखा देता हूँ that right now Fine Organics is a 14,000 crore company. So can it become like a 30,000, 40,000 crore, 50,000 crore? Yes, it very well can if the industry does well and if it remains a market leader, so to say. Has it been doing well in terms of revenues? Yes, it has been doing well. Sitting on its highest ever revenues, its profit margin has not been eroded, to be honest, and highest ever profits. So no problem there. What was the problem with Fine Organic? Well, it was the valuation. So for example, आप देखोगे कि stock last year it reached somewhere around 7,000. Right now, after consolidating, it has fallen to roughly 4,500 rupees. Okay, roughly 30-35% correction has already happened. Now, what about investors? Are investors going away? The short answer is no. Investors are not going away. Their promoters haven't sold anything. FIIs, DIIs haven't sold much from that perspective. No major problem happening. Now, then why did the stock fall by 30-40%? Well, very simple. It was the Chinese anti-dumping. Second, it was the breaking of the globalization thing that I was speaking about. Every country is trying to insource its manufacturing. Elections आने वाले हैं, सबको इस चीज में पड़ी हुई है. So because of the fact that Fine Organics makes most of its money exporting stuff. So here you can see that it only makes 32% of the money by selling stuff in India. Rest of the money comes from abroad. So it is very prone to export-oriented changes. Now that's a risk that we have to live with, and that's the risk in this stock. But is there something off about this stock? The short answer is no. It has been able to still export quite a lot, generate a lot of sales. So all good things from that perspective. Now I will not speak much and neither will I say that khareed lo, bech do, all that stuff. That net it's a good stock. There does not seem to be anything massively off per se, right? Now the next stock I would like to speak very briefly about is Novava Wealth Management. And now see, first and foremost, I have been extremely bullish on the entire wealth management industry. Why? Because a lot of people in India have woken up to the fact that paisa equity mein banta hai, our income levels are rising, people will get discretionary income, and most importantly, people will have no other option but to put their money in the markets. Why? Real estate haan se nikalta ja raha hai, right? I mean, you cannot buy real estate outright. It's very expensive. Unless you're extremely rich, buying real estate would go away, right? In like 5-7 years. I don't think that people will be able to afford buying real estate in majority of the parts in India, right? So that's an entirely different conversation. Where do you think the other part of the money will come into? It will come into equities. Abhi gold mein cycle achhi thi, gold बढ़ गया. People, when they get disillusioned, when they do not see returns in gold cycle, because gold is extremely cyclical, abhi positive cycle thi, a lot of money made, so a lot of money flowed to gold, but gold will not keep on giving returns. So by default, the option becomes mutual fund, wealth management services, all that stuff. This is one of the industries I'm extremely bullish about. Every player, every big player, be it Adani Capital, Geo Finance, आप नाम ले लो, कामत ब्रदर, everyone is getting into wealth management or some variant of it, mutual fund वगैरह वगैरह. On top of that, the bond market in India is maturing. So debt oriented products, अगर उसमें small ticket size कर दिया जाएगा, so a lot of investors will go there, and then they will move to equity, right? So that's a easier shift from that perspective. So massive amount of wealth will be built, according to me, in the next 5 years in wealth management businesses. Nuvama Wealth, just to talk about the pedigree of the company, it is formally Edelweiss Wealth Management, right? It is backed by 25 plus years of experience in Indian market. So आप कह सकते हो कि यार अच्छी कंपनी है. It's not as if that it has bad names associated with it. कोई issue नहीं है per se, right? Now let's talk about the performance of the company. So नई कंपनी है, right? The market cap is small, right? It's only 12,000 crore. I do feel that it can go 3x, 4x. This is one of my portfolio picks. When will I buy it? In what quantity will I buy it? Other things I will keep on discussing in details on my member community. In case again you are a serious investor, definitely do consider checking it. But net good company, overall good fundamentals. One problem could be in the wealth management space is that number one, there could be a lot of corruption, right? That's one. आपने देखा होगा access front running scam हो गया. So all these scandals keep on hitting. Can we analyze? No. Therefore, I spoke about that luck factor earlier. This is beyond the scope of our analysis. We can't estimate कि कोई कंपनियां कांड करके भागेंगी types, right? So we can't do it. We can just pick good companies, spread our money. That's all we can do, right? So therefore, don't go overzealous in terms of investing in one singular company. Play that broad bucket game. Very, very critical. Now again, I had to discuss like 3-4 more stocks, but I think I'll have time only to cover the last one now. So okay, so this company is called as Party Cruisers, and basically क्या करते हैं, ये wedding business में है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल वेडिंग मैनेजमेंट होता है, ऑर्गेनाइज करना होता है, दुनिया भर की चीजें होती है. नाउ दिस इज अ हाईली लुक्रेटिव स्पेस इन अ कंट्री लाइक इंडिया. एंड अगेन लेट मी पुट अ डिस्क्लेमर देयर दैट दीज आर रिस्की स्टॉक. दिस इज नॉट फॉर मॉडरेट रिस्क, लो रिस्क इन्वेस्टर्स. प्लीज आप कल से हल्ला मत मचाने लग जाना कि इतना बढ़ गया उतना बढ़ गया, बिकॉज टेक अ लुक एट द मार्केट कैप ऑफ द कंपनी. इट्स अ माइक्रो कैप कंपनी, ओनली 132 crores. Of course it can go up like anything, it can fall like anything. So please do not get stressed. If you see long term prospects, only there invest. If you are okay investing कि अच्छा ठीक है 50 कंपनियों में मैं कर रहा हूँ, one of this is a micro cap company, then only go with it. Do not, I am honestly not pushing you to put your money anywhere. It's a humble request that please take this video as a learning experience, nothing more. Because फिर मैं बना ही नहीं सकता यार वीडियो. So therefore you have to be considerate about the fact that I am trying to teach you wide variety of things so that you become a more refined investor yourself. Do not depend on others from that perspective. I am trying to help you understand different case studies. That's the objective of making this video. So please study this talk from that perspective. So okay, so coming back to the point that industry leader, can it become? Yes. So just go scout the website. You yourself will be able to understand that they are doing well. Is it a net profitable company? So the short answer is yes. In fact, it is sitting on its highest ever profits, highest ever sales. No problem there. The business has been growing like anything. शादी business in India is a recession proof business. कुछ भी हो जाए भाई साहब, शादी तो होती है. And worst part is और best part is कि शादी के नाम पे माल भयंकर चिपका दिया जाता है and extremely expensive stuff is sold. कि लहंगा है, अच्छा शादी का लहंगा है, it's okay, you know what, 5 लाख और 10 लाख whatever it is. So शादी के नाम पे खाना is expensive, रहना is expensive, everything is expensive, right? So it's luxury segment. People do not think before spending on weddings. So I feel that, you know, if you pick a player in this industry, I'm okay picking some of these type of players. So see guys, I'm building a 50 stock portfolio. That will be my multi-bagger portfolio. I will distribute my money accordingly in this portfolio, and I am concerned about the overall return of that particular portfolio. I'm not concerned about individual stock performance within it. मैं उसके हिसाब से I am hedging my risk, I am hedging the entire portfolio, hedging other parts of my portfolio. Therefore I have a system. You have to build your system. That is the critical aspect. सिर्फ आपने एक स्टॉक खरीद लिया है, मैंने 2-3 स्टॉक्स के बारे में I spoke about. You buy like all 3 and you start creating halla. No, I'm bothered about the performance of that multi-bagger portfolio. I feel that it is going to do well, and accordingly you have to adjust whatever I'm teaching. Unfortunately, I've run out of time to discuss other stocks, but I hope that you found this video to be useful and insightful. In case you did, do press the like button. Do let me know your feedbacks. I'll make more such videos so that you can become a more aware investors. As a next step, learn how to build your portfolio. Go and watch this video, and I will see you the next time.